Okay, welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Again, if you didn't see the video before this, I am here to apologize first because that needs to be done. So if you are a black person, an Asian person, a Native American, or of Mexican descent, which is still Native American, or anybody else that this will affect, I am sorry. From the bottom of what's left over in my soul, I am sorry. I had a conversation with a young man on Facebook today. And somehow or another, and it was probably me because we got to talking about the military, and then we got to talking about Trump. Okay, so that's how it all got here. As a veteran, as you know, stolen valor and all. This is my military cat card. This is my veterans card. All right. I do need to make an appointment to get that fixed. My dog tags are over there. My Soldier 1 card is over there where they tell us the codes, what we stand for, etc., etc. I am an American soldier, that shit. If you've joined the Army, you have this card. And unless you lost it after BC, you can get another one. So, first things first. We got on the Army. And so I'm going to say this with my full fucking chest. So I'm also going to say I'm sorry to any service person who I'm going to piss off. If you are supporting this man, because this is the part that pissed me off first, before we got into the racist shit. This is the part that pissed me off first. I have a family that has served in the military before I was born. I signed up and served. I didn't serve the way I wanted to serve. I have an honorable discharge. I have two uncles that was in the Army. One on my dad's side, one on my mom's side. I have two uncles that was in the Navy on my mom's side. My dad only had two brothers. Only one of them went to the military. We found out about the other brother after my Uncle Bruce passed. Irrelevant. So I'm going to say this with my full fucking chest. If you have a problem with military people, you obviously seem to not understand how necessary we are to this country. Alright? Understand, without us, there is no country. Because we send our fellow brothers and sisters over there, and they eat bullets for your ass to sleep at night. To have a fucking president be bumped from the bottom of the row to the top of the row, to say that people in a grave, and to mistreat Gold Star families because their child died so that we can sleep at night. That's a fucking problem. And if you are a service person and you are supporting that, you have a fucking problem. Understand that shit. This president that they want to try and re-vote back in doesn't like you as a soldier. He thinks that we are all losers and suckers. And if you're voting for this motherfucker, you're fucking up. Because he doesn't give a fuck about soldiers. Understand that shit. Regardless of what he did in his goddamn presidency, the second that he came out his mouth at that fucking damn funeral place and said that everybody in that ground, your brothers, your sisters, my sisters, motherfucker that had that same goddamn cat card from the Geneva Convention, motherfuckers who put their dog tags on every motherfucking morning because they don't know if they're coming home. He said they were suckers and losers. And if you're a service person and you are voting for this motherfucker, you're part of the fucking problem. And you're probably a fucking racist to boot. And I'm sorry if that pissed anybody off, but I say that shit with my full fucking chest. If you are a serviceman voting for a person who doesn't like military people, you're fucking yourself. And let's not forget what he said about John McCain to John McCain's face. I don't like you because you got captured. You were a prisoner of war. Where were you? Did you sign up? Are your children, are your sons, are your daughters signing up? Because people in my family fucking served. Now, I don't know about any of you guys here in the 322 of you. I don't know if any of you guys have any family members that served. Alright, and I'm going to leave that part right here. I'm done with the service part. But if you don't have any family members that served, if you don't know any veterans that served, if you don't know how it feels to be face down at Fort Benning, Georgia, with dirt in your fucking face and sand and places that you can't stand or don't know that was a part of your body until you take a shower, this is the part where you can get pissed off at me. I don't give a fuck. I'm an American soldier. I was Army National Guard. I will die Army National Guard. There are brothers out there that was with me that are serving right fucking now. They were in their 20s when they went in. I was 37 when I went in. God damn it, I never wanted to leave the Army. But I'll be damned if the Commander-in-Chief, who has never served, should ever say anything bad about a soldier, about a Marine, about an airman, about a seaman, about a Coast Guard, and he invented Space Force. So if he says anything bad about them, I got no dog in the fight because he invented that shit. But for everybody else whose boots are on the ground, seats are in the air, shooting rockets from the Air Force and the Navy, and riding boats in the Coast Guard and the fucking Marines and the Navy. If you spit on one of us, you spit on all of us. Period. I don't give a flying fuck about don't tell, don't ask, and all that LBG communication shit for the military. Hey, fuck who you want. I don't give a fuck. You're not fucking me, I'm not fucking you. We're good to go. But for somebody who's supposed to be the leader of this country to disrespect a soldier on any level, you're a piece of shit. And if you guys are going to vote for him and you're a service person, you're part of the fucking problem. Because you know it's funny how everybody's always using soldiers when it comes to they want to give money to another country, but they don't want to give soldiers shit. Okay, that's true. But how come y'all don't say that when soldiers aren't being used? Where are all you guys when people like me, I'm a soldier, I get $327 a month. I got a brand new hip. I can't afford health insurance, so the military hospital has to fix me. But where's that money? Did y'all keep bitching about them giving it to other countries? But then when they give it to the other country, now y'all care about homeless vets. But prior to that, prior to this Ukraine shit, prior to the shit that's happening in Israel, where were all y'all at when soldiers are homeless in California and all across the United States? Where's all that chutzpah, we need to look out for our soldiers? Where's all that shit at? It's nowhere. You know why? Because nobody gives a fuck about soldiers unless they die in battle. But when they get home, oh, we're Rambo. We get charged for vagrancy. We get laughed at. We get spit on. We get called all kinds of fucking names. We have the United States presidents tell our fellow dead brothers and sisters that they were suckers and losers. And y'all support that shit. Y'all literally support that shit. So if you're a soldier and you support that douchebag full of dick tips, red-headed step troll, hey, you have no right to have any fucking medals. You have no right to wear your fucking stripes. None of that shit. Because that fucker called our dead brothers and sisters suckers and losers. Remember that shit when you go to vote. And I'm not trying to sway anybody's vote, just by the way. I'm just letting you know how I fucking feel about this bullshit. So then we got on race. Alright? We got on race. And this is where my problem started with Donald Trump. First, it was the Central Park Five. Because I'm the same age as at least 4 of those guys. Because one of them didn't make it. And this man didn't even have the courage to go to them and say, I'm sorry. Now, back in the 70s, him and his daddy didn't like black people. I just learned that shit like 2 years ago. So I can't really hold him accountable for that. But that Central Park Five, that was in my lifetime. Then he jumped on Native Americans because their casinos were winning. Hello? That's 2 things that I'm related to. Black people and Native Americans. Okay? So now this is where I start pissing off people of those races. If you are a Native American, and even though Elizabeth Warren has 4%, he still used Pocahontas as a racial slur and a joke. He did it when the Navajos were getting their reward, which, by the way, no one's talking about the Navajo not getting their fucking water rights back in fucking Arizona. But the natives that support this bastard don't understand that he doesn't like them. Okay? So if you're a Native American and you support Trump, you're voting against your own interests. Let's not forget what he said about Standing Rock. When I become the president, there's not going to be a pipeline. Then Obama made sure that there wasn't going to be a pipeline in day one of Trump's presidency. Pipelines going through Standing Rock. So if you're a native, you're supporting that. What happens to one tribe will happen to your tribe too. That's something my great grandmother has always stated. She said the one thing about natives that you need to understand: what affects one native tribe will affect all native tribes. All of them. Without question. So you better be aware of that shit. Now let's talk about Mexicans. Or did you Mexicans forget you're also Native Americans? But you also might have forgot the thing that he said, oh, they're sending all of their murderers, drug dealers, and rapists over here. Now granted, some of them might be in that crowd. But he specifically said all of them. They're sending all of their murderers, rapists, and drug dealers. Oh, don't worry. I'm saving the Native American part because there are some natives that are going around. I forgot his name, but he talked all stoic and shit, and he was a Trump supporter. And this is the thing. He's liking you right now because it's benefiting him. But the second something happens and it's on native ground, he's going to throw you off that native ground. So yeah, go ahead, support him. But like I said, because no one's helping the natives in Arizona, the Navajo Nation who turned the tide in World War II to save our asses, no, you don't see none of them stepping up to make sure these natives have rights. Order rights. But you know, if you're native and you're supporting Trump, he doesn't give a fuck about MMIP. No, he doesn't. If it makes him look good, he does, but no, he doesn't. But he doesn't like natives because they don't like natives to him, and the native casinos was whooping his casino's asses, so he wanted to make sure that the natives had to pay double taxes, but I'm pretty sure you guys aren't looking into that shit. So yeah, if you're native and you support him, you're fucking yourself. If you're Mexican and you support him, you're fucking yourself. Now let's go to black people. Central Park 5. I know I brought it up. Right after I did the military thing. I brought it up. I literally brought it up. I don't give two fucks about Black Lives Matter. Alright? Because some of it is right. And some of it is just straight bullshit. Like the motherfuckers that hustled everybody and got all this money. And next thing you know, these black people are like living like kings and queens and shit. Alright? Fuck them. The concept, I respect. Because black lives do matter. However, for those black cats that are throwing themselves in these Trump rallies and yay Trump and all this shit, y'all might want to go back and do that research that I had to do about how his daddy and him didn't like the black workers being presented in front of the high class white people in his casinos, in his buildings, all that bullshit. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of smoke in the comments, and I'm not going to reply with anything but nice comments, alright? Because I did apologize at the beginning of this video. My job here is to open your eyes. It's not to persuade you. It's not to make you dislike Trump. It's none of that bullshit. But you might want to open your eyes, and like I said, if this does not affect you, don't fucking worry about it. Again, I'm not here to sway you. I don't give a fuck who you vote for. My door is open. You can come in and go as you please. I collect numbers of friends. I don't collect money from anybody, and I don't ask you for anything other than thank you for letting me be in your life. But a lot of black cats, they aren't aware, because ignorance is golden, of the shit that I mentioned. They don't know about the Central Park 5, how he said that those 5 kids should be dead. They don't understand it. Here we are 20 some odd years later, and this man was president. They made a documentary about it. The documentarian, he literally went to Donald Trump before he made a documentary and asked him, would you apologize to the Central Park 5 after proving DNA proved them wrong? They did a lot of time for some shit that they didn't do because this white lady got raped, and neither one of them did it. They were all coerced by white cops to confess to a rape that they didn't commit because they were scared, and it was New York, and they didn't know how the law worked, and they spent a lot of time in jail, possibly sexually assaulted, amongst other fucking things that happen to people in jail. Especially people don't like when you do shit to kids or women. I don't know if they give a fuck about cats and dogs, but if you fuck with a woman or a kid out here and it gets back into prison, oh, you're done. They're going to fuck you up. It's just that damn simple. So, therefore, you know, you're black and you're supporting this shit. This motherfucker wanted 5 innocent kids dead. And you know the worst part about that? The guy that did it was in prison with them like 2 or 3 times until they finally got his DNA and proved the kids innocent and then exonerated them. But by then, only 4 of them were still alive. And they're my age, 50. They lost 30 something years of their life. And you are colored and you are supporting that shit. Shame on you. Shame on you. And now we're going to bring this down to the final group of people. My Asians for Trump. Alright? This is the part where me and the guy really got into a good conversation, and he was agreeing with me because he really loves Asian women. There are a lot of racist motherfuckers out here, blacks and whites a lot, that cannot tell one Asian person from another. So let's go. Now I'm going to piss you off if you're Asian and you're supporting this fucker. You're a fucking part of the problem. You understand this? When Wuhan, the COVID, whatever the fuck happened, the first thing he said was, this was the Wuhan disease. This was the China virus. A Chinese reporter asked them something, why don't you ask China? All of a sudden, Asian hate is on the fucking rise. Not like it didn't exist before, but now it is on the rise. You got black people and white people ganging up on Asian people. And if it wasn't for Olivia Mung, somebody would have got away with murder. Because Olivia Mung, like me, is a mixed person. She's Chinese and white. So you got to ask yourself, this shit was bad before, but when the Wuhan disease came, because that's what he called it, or the Kung flu, or the China virus, a bunch of racist motherfuckers started attacking Asian people out of the motherfucking blue for no fucking reason at all other than the fact that they were Asian. And if you're Asian and you are supporting this shit, you are part of the fucking problem. Y'all don't like it when I give you the whole 1,000. Well, guess what? I just gave you the whole 2,000. Because here's the facts. You had people chasing old Chinese people with fucking cans of Febreze and Lysol. Y'all motherfuckers might have thought that shit was a joke, but I sure as fuck didn't. I have no problem with Asian people, unless you're supporting a racist piece of shit that wants to see you get fucked up. There was a Filipino man that somebody thought was Chinese, and they cut him in New York across his entire fucking face. These little black girls set an Asian woman on the bus, 55 years old, on fucking fire. A white dude slung an Asian person all the way across the goddamn ground. Another white dude body blocked an Asian man who later died from his injuries. A black dude attacked another set of Asian people. He attacked 2 Korean women with a brick in their fucking store. You understand the concept of what I'm saying here? Because if you're Asian, this is what you're fucking supporting. A man who went around and started saying you got the Kung flu disease, the Wuhan disease, the Chinese virus, the other racial diasporas that equal you being an Asian. A lady thought that a Native American was an Asian woman and attacked her in the motherfucking store back in Arizona. Unfortunately, for the lady that attacked the Arizona woman, she picked the wrong fucking native to fuck with, and that native female beat her fucking ass. So this is why I said, if you are native, if you are black, if you are white, if you are Mexican, if you are Asian, and you're supporting this motherfucker, you are a part of the problem. Yeah, I don't like Trump. I can't stand that motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie about that shit. The motherfucker's a goddamn racist. But you don't want to see that shit because it doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect your wallet. But understand this, and understand this very fucking well, and this goes to females only. They're at war with y'all. They don't give a fuck about black women. They don't give a fuck about Native women. They don't give a fuck about Asian women. But if you're a white female, you about to be a handmaid's tale. You about to be a baby pumping machine. You won't get to say no. Your rights are going to be gone. And you guys are supporting this shit. You're all fucking supporting this shit. If you're females and you're behind this guy and behind those little fucking trolls in the local shit, oh well, we're gonna vote against women having the right to pee. Because that's exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna take away your rights to choose who you get to have sex with. They're gonna try to eliminate interracial marriages. They're going to try to take away all your rights. They ain't coming for your guns yet, but don't worry. If your guns become a problem for them, they'll come for your guns. They're trying to force Christianity back into school when the Constitution say that you have to separate church from state. But this is what they're doing, and you guys aren't fucking aware of it. There's your whole 1,000. Now let me give you one more 1,000 before I end this fucking video. I 1,000% apologize for everybody that I've offended. And then I 1,000% apologize that I don't fucking apologize because you're letting the shit happen. I have 5 sisters who have daughters. Only one of my sisters don't have daughters. Only one. The sister under me had 3 sons. One passed away in a car accident. The sister under her has 2 daughters. And both of her daughters have daughters. Okay? The sister under her has 3 daughters. They're not old enough to have children yet, but by the time they are, hopefully I'm dead so I don't have to go to jail for fucking somebody up. The sister under her has 1 daughter. The brother above that sister has 2 daughters. I don't have any kids. But as a male, I don't have to worry about my rights being infringed on. But I gotta worry about my nieces not having the right to be fucking baby free if somebody sexually assaults them. I have to worry about my grandnieces being assaulted by other people and the government saying, nah, bitch, you can have this baby. Because this is how you politicians work. It's not my kid. Fuck that bitch. But the second that it's your kid, now you want to change the law. Now you want to change it. So, if somebody who looks like me rapes somebody of a different skin tone's daughter, who's a big T supporter, oh no, we gotta change that. We gotta get the abortion law back up. We gotta make sure this black guy raped my daughter. We gotta make sure that she don't have that abomination. See, that's when the politics want to turn the script. Then they want to start going, I should have voted for that blue guy because then my daughter would actually have the ability to protect herself from a rapist. But y'all don't want to hear that part of the shit, right? And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of shit in the comments of this video. Hey, I'm not going to comment back. I'm going to thank you because that got your fucking attention. If you have sisters and you're white, they're the ones that are in trouble. You think they're going to give a fuck if a black person has an abortion? Or if an Asian person or a Native or a Mexican has an abortion? No, because they don't give a fuck about people of this skin tone. Those abortion laws are to stop white women from having babies. Or better yet, not being able to not have babies. They want those white women to have all these fucking babies, just not with people of color. So if a white man gets a raw hair up his ass and he wants to decide, I'm going to go rape this white lady, and she's in one of those states that just legally passed a law that you can't have an abortion even if you're 10 years old and you were raped by your crazy fucking uncle, that's y'all fault. I do not apologize for that. That's y'all fault. I'm not trying to fearmonger. Read. Watch some of these motherfucking programs. Listen to these bitches in the news that be telling y'all, oh, I gotta sit at the table. So now I gotta sign on with these dudes that are gonna allow people who look like me with titties get raped and be forced to carry my rapist baby. They don't give a fuck about black people with that shit. They're not gonna give 2 fucks about a black woman getting an abortion. They might fucking get the doctor that gave her that shit. But as far as the black woman, hey, that's like, hey, we got one less black person we gotta deal with. We got one less Asian person we got to deal with. We got one less Native. We got one less Native from the Mexican diaspora. But you white ladies, you're signing your own death warrant. Go ahead, vote for Trump. Handmaid's tale it all. The thing is, the rest of the world probably gonna move on like normal. But as for white women in America, they're coming for you. They don't give a fuck about black women. They don't give a fuck about Asian women or Native women. Unless it's like for fetish porn. But for you and your bodily autonomy, your 10-year-old daughter's gonna grow up, and if she gets sexually assaulted, if it's a white dude, she's gonna have to keep the baby. If it's a black dude, they're not gonna let her keep the baby. If it's an Asian dude or a Native American dude, nah, we can scrounge that abortion out. But if it's a white dude that rapes your daughter, that's on you. And when she's forced to keep that baby and she's 10 fucking years old, think about that shit. The youngest woman to have had a baby in life was a 5-year-old who was raped by her daddy. Y'all don't think about shit like that, though. Oh, this is working for me. This is working for me. Yeah, it's working for you until it doesn't. And that's the problem with everybody in America. When it's working for you, but it's hurting other people, it's fine. It's fucking fine. And y'all might not want to hear that shit, but it's the fucking truth. It's the same thing with people radicalizing youth. Remember when I don't remember the name of the people, but they radicalized a couple of white chicks and they took the white chicks over to that country, like in Iran or Iraq or some shit. They radicalized the white chicks and then they raped the fuck out of them. And when they got tired of raping them, they fucking killed them. They radicalized a couple of other American dudes, and next damn thing you know, we got all these motherfucking shootings. All these motherfucking shootings. You have rarely any black children taking guns to school and shooting people, with the exception of what happened in my state in Newport News, which is down the block, where a 6-year-old kid shot a white teacher in the hand. His mom was on drugs at the time. That does not excuse the fact that the 6-year-old kid took a gun to school and shot the teacher. That was the mom's fault for having a firearm in the house where a child could find it. I am not excusing that shit. That's her fault. She has 21 months in prison for this shit. I'm pretty sure she just lost all her gun rights too. Now, you talk about shit like that, and you like, okay, but the mixed gender lady who went and shot up all the little teenagers. And let's not forget Uvalde. Let's not forget Columbine. Let's not forget all the other shit. Let's not forget Virginia Tech, where the little Korean dude took his gun to school and killed people on April the 16th. Let's not forget all that shit. But this is that thing. Because see, when it doesn't affect everybody else, it's okay. But when it affects you directly, as a politician, as a voter, and even as a Trump supporter, y'all are okay with it until it hits you. It's fine. It's fine that that white girl down the street got raped and she's got to keep her baby. But if that white girl was your girl and you're a white man, now it's not fine anymore. Oh, the fact that she's 8 years old. White girl down the street was 8 years old. Or 6 years old. But it's fine for that to happen because they're poor white people. There are poor white people who probably voted your dumb ass in. But when your 6-year-old daughter gets attacked, or if you are diddling her or fucking her and getting her pregnant your goddamn self, yeah. So it's fine, right? But if it's your crazy brother-in-law or your crazy sister and her husband is doing things to your child pops up pregnant, now you want to change the fucking rules. But that poor white girl down the street that's not kin to you, that's equally poor and the same age as your child, it's fine for her to get pregnant at 5 and 6 years old. But y'all thought I was going to leave white people out. No, that won't happen. I'm on everybody's ass. Because if you're not paying attention, you will be those chicks in A Handmaid's Tale. Whether you like it or not, if you watch that shit, most of those chicks that are being like molested and raped and all that shit, they white chicks. But y'all don't have to listen to me. I'm just some dumbass half-breed guy on the internet. But thank you guys for watching. And if I have pissed you off and you made it to the end of this video for the last 30 goddamn minutes, I am sorry. I am not here to change your vote. I'm not here to scare you. I am here to open your motherfucking eyes, and I gave you the whole 1,000, and you won't like it. And I may lose every follower I have with this video. But if it opens up the world and makes sure that every woman of every color, of every age is safe and has control of their body, worth it. Thank you for watching. I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. Be seeing you.